Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and I'm coming at y'all with another video. But before I get started, let me show y'all what my shirt says today. It's not a Black History shirt, it's an inspirational type of t-shirt that I picked up. And of course it was what, $3.99? But I liked it. I liked how it looked, so I bought it. So yeah, it says, "Be strong and courageous." So yeah, I liked it and I got it. And yeah, y'all, I'm sorry, I don't feel very well. And I mean, it's not a cold or anything like that. I be going through. This is just a part of my life. It's just always been a part of my life. So y'all see me like this 99% of the time. It ain't got to do with a cold or nothing like that. It's just a normal day for me. So anyway, this video is about family, my family, and how, of course you can't choose who you're all related to. And despite that fact, it's kind of sad because of some of the things that I have seen go on in my family. And it's just unfortunate because I'm the type of person that while I was growing up, I always wanted to have a close-knit family, meaning outside of just my parents and my siblings. I wanted to be really close with my cousins, with all of my aunts, with all of my uncles, and of course, all of my grandparents. Now, I never had any issues with my grandparents. There are a select few aunts and uncles who I do the bare minimum, and I will say hello to them, and I basically pay them dust. I mean, it's sad to say that, but it's only because of the way that they have treated me. And there are some cousins, whether they are first, second, third, or whatever, and possibly somebody removed and all that stuff, it's the same level of, hey, bye, or whatever. I'm not really trying to give you a conversation or let you know what's really going on in my life like that, because I don't fool with you like that. We don't fool with each other like that. And that's really sad, but I'm the type of person that once I realize how you are, I'm not going to sit up here and just tell you everything that's going on in my life so you can go back and create scenarios, which has actually happened to me before by family members. And it's just like, why do you do this? Like, I don't understand. So as a classic example of something that happened to me, I lost a job, right? Tell me why I lost my job one day. Before the end of that day, the whole family knew about it. But when I got an amazing job, everybody was informed about it. Because like I said, I don't really have an issue with discussing things. Now, if I'm not comfortable with it at the moment, that's when I will say to y'all or whoever that, I don't want to discuss that, or I'm not comfortable with that at this moment. When I do become comfortable in doing so, that's when I will divulge such information. So I got a really great job, y'all. Whole family knew about it. When I tell you, people were mad. I'm just like, who is mad? You know what I'm saying? Why are you mad? Because I have a job. I got a job that I wanted, a job that I went out for, and I was able to prove myself, and I have it. But you're mad about it. Like, what sense did that make? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't sit up here and pray for the downfall of others. I don't sit up here and say, man, they make me sick. They going to this college. And, like for me, prime example with talking about college. I started grad school, right? Some situations happened, and I could not handle the emotional side of things. And I dropped out. And so I haven't gone back. I want to go back. I don't know when I will go back, but yeah. So I have other people who never even had the slightest interest in going to college that saw that I went and graduated undergrad, right? And they were like, we're actually jealous. And so they went out and did something they didn't even care about. And then they just started going and getting, other degrees. And I was just like, why? And like, it's funny because I just said it to myself, right? But other people who have like somewhat of a close relationship with these people, they actually were like, I don't know why they're doing it. It seemed like they're doing it because they're jealous that you went to school. Like, and I actually wanted to go to school. As a child, I said out of my own mouth that one day I wanted to attend the school that I attended, which is Alabama State University in Montgomery, Alabama. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I just didn't know what I wanted to major in. But I just don't understand the crabs in a barrel type of stuff. Like, it's like we're related. And like, y'all, when I was in college, I was in an organization. Y'all, I have said this several times. When I was in this organization, and one of the things that they actually did do was when I graduated high school, they said that they would pay for like a certain amount of credits. So basically, they paid for three courses in the summertime, but you had to take it at Alabama State University. And they were core courses that would transfer basically to any school. So a lot of us took them up on that offer, and I was one of those people. And I was fine with that anyway because I'm going there. I've applied. I'm going to go there. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I was just like, that's less of a burden on my shoulders. I just got to figure out how I'm going to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And that worked itself out almost immediately anyway, so I didn't have to even worry about that. But there are people who were mad about that. And it's like, why are you mad? They were mad when I was in the organization and I went to these various states. And when I went outside of the country, and I went to Canada, people were upset about that. And it's like, I don't understand that. Because these are the same people who, when I was growing up, the things that are so simple, they had, and we didn't. Although my father worked for the state of Alabama, all the money that he was getting, it was going on my family, meaning myself, my siblings, and my mother. My mother had surgeries, and she had children outside of me. So these are bills that had to be paid, and we were all on his insurance, and there were times we didn't know if we were really going to eat like that or if a bill of some sort was going to get paid. And like, people don't understand. So hand-me-downs were like amazing to us because we didn't have it like that to where we could go to a store and be like, oh, school gonna start, I'm about to get these new shoes, I'm about to get this new outfit. And back then, that was when people were not, prompted to be like, hey, you need to get these uniforms for school. We could wear what we wanted to wear as long as it was within those school guidelines, which, of course, makes sense. Well, I had to look forward to hand-me-downs or what I've been wearing for years upon years anyway. So I was just happy that school was starting back because I love school. But there was an instance that I remember, and if this particular relative ever watches this video and sees this part, I'm not saying this to shade you. I'm just saying this as an example of things that you were doing when we were children or really young and you didn't realize. I don't feel like you realized that you were being messy, shady, or whatever you want to say it, petty, whatever you want to say it was at the time. So, like I just said, we had to get stuff from other people. We had hand-me-downs 99% of the time. Every now and again, my mama would like win a contest, and then she could go get some necessities like socks and underwear and all that stuff for us. Every now and again, when there was a couple of dollars left over, she might get me a shirt, get my brother a pair of pants or something. And, you know, in between all that, she had patches. Like, if something was ripping and tearing up, we had patches. So anyway, this particular relative, her mama would bag up clothes that were hers and her siblings and send them over to us, like every year, every other year. Okay, because her kids, they, you know, had everything. Well, I remember I went through the bag of stuff and I found things that I could wear, and I was happy because these things were basically like new. Well, one of the shirts that was in the bag was a white shirt, but it was like dingy or whatever. And like it was like had a yellow tinge, if you know what I mean, right? So I was like, well, I think if I bleach this will be fine. Y'all, I put it in the washing machine, washed it, and put it in there with all whites, and it was like a brand new shirt. It's like, I don't know if she wore it one time and the way she washed it, or the that specific Clorox that she used, or the amount she used, or whatever it was, it turned it that color. Because I've seen that happen before. If you use a random brand, that could happen. I don't know, but it was crazy. So one day she saw me with the shirt on and like she knew it was her shirt. I mean, it was a plain white shirt, y'all. She knew it was her shirt. She was like, I might need to get my shirt back from you. And she, you know, she kind of was serious. And I was just like, wow, you have everything at your disposal. All of my other relatives, for the most part, basically all of them, at any given time, they can go in a store and be like, hey, Mom, I want this. Whether they earned it because they did what they were supposed to be doing in school or did their chores, their parents were inclined to get that for them and had nothing to say to be like, okay, no. There was no objection to it because they had the funds. See, we didn't have the funds. We couldn't do all that. It just was not an option for us at all. So we got those talks that y'all might see, like the little memes that are going around or screenshots people are putting up that they did on, what is it? What is it called? Like, not Instagram. I don't remember what, Twitter, I think. And basically like talking about what a black mother says before y'all leave the house or whatever, or black parents say this or whatever. Like, that is real life. Our mama would give us a talk before we leave the house. Like, we might have a trip, our monthly trip. We were gonna go to town, as they call it, because we lived on the outskirts of Montgomery, in a rural area, and it was still Montgomery, but it was just a nice community that had nice, meaning a lot of land and all that stuff. We had land and all that stuff from where my grandfather purchased all this land and that he wanted his children to be able to have, and all they have to do is pay taxes on it and build their homes on it, and you don't have to worry about all this other stuff. Well, we have to go into the city limits to go to the grocery store or go to certain people's houses to visit or whatever we were going to do. So this particular day, we were going to go to Winn-Dixie. I remember this day like it was yesterday, and I was a child. We were going to go to Winn-Dixie, and we literally were at the door, ready to walk out the door. My mama done went all the way off. She was like, don't ask for nothing, don't touch nothing in this store, da-da-da, like having this whole conversation with us, and then basically threatens us at the end and said, if you do any of this, I don't care if we in the store. I don't care. I ain't going outside the store. I ain't doing nothing. I'm going to beat you in the store. Like, my mama was y'all, I be joking a little bit, but my mama was a thug. She did not care. She's one of the people who like, I will beat you and tell you, please do call the police, because you ain't finna make a fool out of me. You ain't finna show out in front of these folks and then think I'm just going to stand here and let you show out because you have an audience. My mama did not play that mess. Y'all, so anyway. So that happened, and I remember this one particular time, y'all. My brother was younger, and We were still like all of us were still pretty young. My brother got away from my mom. He was one of those kids that he was so defiant. I was just like, why? You're the baby. Y'all, you know how a parking lot can be. We're in the Winn-Dixie Park, one of these Winn-Dixie parking lots. I don't know if anybody watches that is from Montgomery, Alabama, but it's the Winn-Dixie. I don't even know if it's still around. It's the Winn-Dixie off the boulevard. That's next door. Well, I can't even say next door now because so many things. I remember the last time I did come, it was there. There was wait a minute. I think the name of the place was Jackson Square. I don't know if it's still named that, but it was the apartment complex like kind of next to it. Yeah. And there was like a KFC across the street from there. And I'm trying to think of what else. I can't think of whatever else. It was some little beeper store or something, y'all. I don't remember, but a lot of things changed since I was last at home. Y'all, my brother literally yanked his little hand out of my mama's hand and ran. Almost got hit by a car. If the person who was driving that car had been looking at my brother, be dead right now. Like, it was just crazy stuff. And my mama, we had literally just took a couple of steps from the car. And my mama politely went and got in the car where her belt was and whooped my brother. Like, that's just what it is. Y'all, it's just a lot that went on. So, back to some more family stuff, y'all. Family drama. Okay. I'm going to make a separate video about her. But my grandmother, who is my maternal grandmother, she is no longer with us. She was my last living grandparent. She had a full life. She was 96 years old, but y'all don't understand. I was going all the way through. Okay, so y'all, I got to sigh before I even start this because it was so much. And everything I'm saying today is literally like a small like taste of everything that I could just talk about for years on end about the family stuff. Y'all, so one day I was talking to my grandmama, and this was literally like a month, definitely 2 months or less before she passed away, right? I'm pretty sure it was like a month or a couple of weeks before. Talking to her on the phone, and she's talking to me, and she had just, gotten over a cold, and, I'm talking to her, I'm like, hey, Granny, how you doing? And she was like, hey, I'm fine, how you doing? I mean, she knew who I was and everything. She was 96 at the time. Her birthday, had already passed, and she died when she was 96. So her birthday had already passed. Her birthday literally was on... Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what in the world. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to figure out what in the world is, fire truck doing. What is going on here? I don't know what they doing. But anyway, I apologize for that. But her birthday was on the 5th, and it's been, in April will be 2 years since she's been gone. Y'all, I took that real bad. I mean, exceptionally bad. But her last moments, the last time I spoke to her, I was talking to her, and she realized who I was. And I mean, she had several grandkids, great grandbabies. I'm talking about all that, whole lot of them. But she knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? Just talking to me on the phone, not FaceTiming or none of that. She heard my voice and knew it was me. So anyway, I'm talking to her, and then like she goes on to say that, randomly just talking. I was like, well, what you been up to? Because I'm thinking this is going to be 20, 30 minutes tops that we're going to talk, because I don't do nothing. Like, I ain't got nothing to tell nobody. I don't like to even talk on the phone like that, y'all. Like, it's bad. I hate being on the phone. Like, and it's funny because before I turned 20, I loved to be on the phone, but nobody else liked to be on the phone. And it's like I had to like force conversations with people. But now it's like everybody want me to call them. And I'm like, I don't want to talk. I don't like to talk. I really don't. I have to force myself to call my parents, y'all. It's bad. Anyway, so I'm talking to her. And then she eventually, not long after, the intro, and she was like, yeah, I'm feeling better. I had a cold, and I feel so much better. I feel so much like myself. especially since I didn't know how it was going to go. I was like, what's she talking about? Y'all, so then, she was like, I just feel like it's getting closer to that time and things aren't how they're supposed to be. And I'm looking like, what's she talking about? But I'm just letting her talk. She proceeds to say things about one of her kids that for some reason is ignoring her. And she was like, I call her and she won't answer the phone. I leave messages and she won't return my messages. All I want to do is see her and talk to her. And I want to see her grandbabies and the great grandbabies. You know what I'm saying? Because her daughter, her daughter's daughter had a baby and her son had a baby. So I've been told. I ain't never seen it nowhere. But whatever. But yeah, she was referring to her and she was saying that she don't understand why she's doing this because she loves her and she just wants to see her and spend as much time as she can with her before, it's all said and done. And then she was talking about another one of her kids because her and another sibling and her child, like their kids were going back and forth over some stupid stuff, y'all. It's just, but she was just like, and then like she actually mentioned another situation, y'all. I don't even want to go into that because when I tell y'all it's too much, I didn't even know all this was going on until I was informed. I was like, what? Like, Lord, I was tired, y'all. But my grandmama was just telling me all of this stuff. Like, she literally was, like, pouring tea. I was just like, I'm sitting there on the phone like, does she know she talking to me? Does she know she telling me this stuff? Y'all, I was so tired. I just could not. I couldn't even take it out. Oh, my gosh. Y'all, but you could tell, like, the way she was talking that she was just so disappointed in everything that had been going on. Y'all, I don't know what's going on, but these dang, it must be somebody like a street over or something because the lights will disappear. Something's going on with somebody. The fire truck just came like 3 to 5 minutes ago, and then like an ambulance just came. I don't know what's going on, y'all, but hopefully whatever it is, it's not terrible and that whatever it is, it'll just work out for the better. So, y'all, she was talking to me and I was just like, what in the world's going on? But yeah, like, it's just so much. Y'all, so then, the day of her death happens. Y'all, I'm happy, not because of her death. I'm literally happy before I even find out what's happening, right? Because I just gotten a job Good Friday. She died the day after Good Friday, which is the day before Easter, which is best known as Resurrection Sunday. So, y'all, I just can't when it comes to that day anymore. When it comes to Resurrection Sunday and Good Friday, I just am not in the mood for nothing, y'all. I just be wanting to come home and just ball up and just sleep. Like, I can't, because I forever will think about her in relation to those holidays. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it hurts. It hurts too much, y'all. So, I'm sorry. It's making me upset just thinking about it. But, yeah, it's like she knew her time was coming, right? And so, apparently, she told her children that when she dies, she wants to be buried at the church that she went to as a child. That church is, if you're driving, it takes 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops to get there one way, right? Which isn't that bad. Okay. She died. They did everything but what she requested. And I'm like, that's literally all she asked for, and y'all couldn't do that. So, y'all, I was already mad. So, before I even get into that, y'all, so the morning happens. My mama called me a little bit earlier than she normally would. And, I was, at that time, I usually would be able to call her first, and then we would talk about different shows we watched together and just catch up on the week and see how our week's gone or whatever, in preparation for the next week or whatever. Y'all, my mama called me, and I'm like, why is she calling me? I was going to wait a little while to call her because there's an hour time difference or whatever, right? So she called me, and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm talking normal, and she talking kind of like something wrong. So I'm like, what's going on? So she was like, well, I don't know. I don't really think your grandmama going to make it through the day. So I was like, what? Like, I really thought I heard her all the way wrong because I had literally just talked to my grandmama, like, a couple of weeks prior, and she sounded fine. And so I was like, what's going on? What you mean? And so she was like, well, my brother and my daddy went up there to where the house she was staying in, which is one of her daughter's houses. She was staying with her to take care of her. And they said that she just didn't look like herself, and some other things had been happening. Y'all, when I do the video about my grandmama, I will tell y'all the details of that. But y'all, anyway, my brother and my daddy went up there to cut the grass. And so my brother, he is just, I can't really describe it, but he's just one of the people where he pay attention to stuff, but not really. But that day, he was just like, I don't know what's going on, but I don't think Granny look good. I don't think Granny gonna make it. And I was like, what? So that's what she said, he said. And I was just like, I don't understand. She seemed fine the other day, so she was like, I don't know what's going on, but you might need to call her. So I'm thinking, I'm not believing none of this. I just talked to her. She sounded fine. She was even cracking jokes, like she was being her normal self, like she's naturally funny. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people that don't know my family, my daddy, he'll crack jokes and stuff, and to my knowledge, he gets that from her. And the few times that I say certain things, that even if I'm being dead serious, it'll come off hilarious and in a joking way. And people really be like, oh my God, like really be getting their life. And I'm like, but I'm being serious though. Like just have a natural, funny way of saying things. And we all get that from her. So I'm just looking like, wow. Oh, Lord, y'all, it's just too much. Hey, y'all, so my mama just called me while I was in the middle of recording. So I was like, let me get off this phone, see what she wants. But anyway, y'all, it's just a lot of stuff that's been going on. And I didn't even go to the funeral, y'all, because I actually thought about going, but I was like, okay, I'm about to start a new job. I'm about to start this new job. And I don't know if they're going to try me when I leave, but I shouldn't have even thought about that. But that wasn't, that's the crazy thing, y'all. That wasn't even the biggest issue. The biggest issue for me was the anger I felt, because I felt like so many people kept trying my grandmama before she died that I really feel like I was going to get at the funeral. I was going to get up or be there at the funeral, and I really was going to explode. So I feel like I did the right thing in not going, even though I do regret not going, because that is the only grandparents' funeral I didn't attend. Y'all, I really do feel like I was going to clown. I feel like they was going to get up there and be like, oh, mama did this, and I miss mama. And oh, I really felt they were going to get up there and put on a show. And I was going to be like, but I know you though, so I'm going to need for you to cut these theatrics all the way out. I don't like stuff like that. Don't sit up here and act like, oh, I miss them. Oh, I love them. And all this when you treated them like less than when they were here and trying to love on you. Nobody's perfect. I'm not trying to say my grandmama was a perfect angel, but at least I know for a fact that in her final days, she had been trying to get everybody together. And it just makes me sad that everybody's still not on one accord. There are people in my family who have favorites, and they will only associate with certain people when they want something, and it's just a lot of two-faced foolishness, and I just don't want to be a part of it. So when there are functions, I'm not the least bit interested in attending, even if I know I'm going to be there. If I know I'm going to be at home and something pop off where somebody like, oh, they're having this at this person's house, I'm probably going to be like, and? I mean, and that's the sad thing about it. And y'all, when I tell you I have genuinely prayed on it and all that, like I can't do it. I don't want to be fake when it comes to that. I do wholeheartedly love my family, but I refuse to be fake. I'm not trying to fake the funk. I don't like that, because I want you to be real with me. Be all the way real with me, because I'm being real with you. And there have been times that I've said things to people in response to them asking me certain things or saying certain things to me, and it was an honest answer, and they would look at me like, and I'm just like, and I mean, I wouldn't say anything in a disrespectful manner or anything. They would just ask me something or say something to me, and I'll respond, and they just were like, whoa, because I'm not the pushover. And I'm not the one that you can just walk all over and use as a doormat, because I'm not even gonna lie. Usually, especially like when I was growing up, I've just always been the type of person where I don't like conflict. I still don't. I don't like drama. I don't like conflict. So if something's going on, I try to be soft-spoken about it, and I don't want any drama. I don't want foolishness. So I am all here for, hey, let's come to some kind of, middle ground where we ain't got to deal with some foolishness. I'm all here for that resolution. And yeah, so they're used to nice, sweet cousin, niece, whatever their relationship is to me. And then as I got older, and I've always been hip to the foolishness. But I had gotten to the point where I was tired of it and that I wasn't going to tolerate it anymore. And that's when people decided to be like, oh, she has a problem. Like, it's not me. It's y'all with the problem. But y'all want to make it seem like I'm the one who has the problem. Y'all, I don't be having time. I just be looking at people like, look, I ain't got time for this foolishness in my life. I really don't. So I really would just rather not even fool with you if I know you're going to be fake. If I know you're going to be phony, if I know you're going to try me, for me, I just would rather not even deal with you. And, for the sake of the love that I still have for you, because you are blood related to me, I'm just going to keep my distance. And I might say hi from afar. Like, I can't. Like, y'all, it's so bad that I have Facebook, and I would rather have my name as some random name than to have my real name up there, because I don't want them to find me and try to send me a friend request, because it's hard for me to decline a friend request or just let it sit there when it's a family member. And like I said, I just don't want to fake nothing, and I'm just like, y'all, I don't be having time for the foolishness, but yeah. Y'all, I'm sorry, I feel so bad. People don't be understanding. I really do be feeling terrible. But anyway, there was a situation that happened. It really not even a situation. There was a moment when I thought someone had changed for the better, right? And I talked to them. They seemed like a new person. And I'm like, okay, when I was a child, they acted like this. Now I'm an adult and I'm talking to them. They seem like a complete 180 has happened, right? So when I tell you I'm happy, I literally got off the phone, praised the Lord, prayed. I was just like, Lord. And I literally, like, what people don't understand is I really do sit up here and I pray for the best. I pray for amazing outcomes for my family, because I've always wanted to be able to be like these people who, y'all, when I, what I meant to tell y'all earlier when I was talking about being in an organization and all that stuff, that one semester that that first semester that I had where I was on ASU's campus, we stayed on campus, right? That was my only time living on campus. I don't like campus life. But anyway, the people with that organization, we had the option of just staying in our dorms or leaving every weekend and coming back by a certain time. And then every summer, up until we graduated from high school, they had it where we lived in the dorms for like 2 months or something, like a month or two, however long it was, like maybe 2 months, y'all. And every Friday we would go home and then we'd come back like on Sunday evening or something like that, right? Y'all, I used to dread going home. I never understood people who would be homesick. And I'm like, you live like 30, 45 minutes away, maybe an hour. Why are you homesick? I never understood that. And you know what I'm saying? I would talk to my parents throughout the week, and I ain't got no issues with them. I'm talking about just my other relatives and stuff that I would have the issues with. I'm like, why y'all excited? Like, oh, I'm gonna go see my aunts and my other people, the other people who weren't like their parents and all that stuff. And they were, you know, excited to go home to see their actual parents. I never understood. I really would look at them like, why? And I hate that, because in all actuality, the way that I would basically frown upon their happiness was me kind of internally crying and wishing that that could be me in my situation with my family, but it's not. It never has been. When I was younger, I really did have these false hope type of moments where I really thought that there was going to be happily ever afters and everything was going to be amazing and all of this is just a dream. We're going to wake up and everybody's going to be on one accord, and it just never happened, and I hate that. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate any of them. I love all of my family. I just wish that the fake stuff would stop. I wish that the drama would be hashed out and ended, and everybody can really, in all seriousness, be on one accord, because everybody's getting older. A lot of relatives are passing away because of old age and other things that are going on in life, and life is definitely too short. And so I just don't see the point in holding on to the stupidity. It just gets on my nerves, but that's why I tend to just stay away and just stay to myself. I only deal with a select few of my relatives on the regular, whether it's me talking to them on Facebook, talking to them on the phone or whatever, or texting them or whatever, trying to talk to them on Facebook rather, because I don't like talking. It's so bad, y'all. I do not like it. But yeah. But anyway, y'all, it's just a lot. I just need to figure out if there's more that I can do, because I prayed for years upon years. And like I said before, it's got to the point that I don't even really like being in the same room with some of them, because they are still the same as they were when I was younger. And it's just like, we're not going to ever grow up. Like, I don't like stuff like that. So, y'all, I know a lot of people have drama in their families, but I don't like drama. I hate it with a passion. I don't like stuff like that. So, anyway, y'all, I don't feel good, like I told y'all before. So, I'm going to just end it right here. I'm sorry if I was just all over the place, but I'm trying, y'all. I really am. Oh, Lord. Anyway, I wish I would take some medicine, but I really hate taking medicine, y'all. So when y'all see me looking like this, my eyes low and all that, I'm not drinking nothing. I don't really drink. I'm not taking anything. I'm trying to avoid taking medicine. I hate taking medicine. But anyway, y'all, before I go, I have been trying to do the review for American Soul. Y'all, I can't even get through the first episode because every time I'm watching it, I get interrupted. Y'all, I barely have gotten to 25% of it, and that's sad. Like, I'm like, dang it, and it's good. To me, it is good. I like TV shows and movies like that, y'all, so. Oh, Lord. But whenever I can actually get through the first or second episode, that's when I'll do the reviews on y'all. So until next time, I hope y'all are having a wonderful weekend. Y'all pray for me. Oh, also, I'm sorry, before I end this, I have to do this. Don't worry about me. I'm a need for y'all to do something for me. I'm asking y'all, being sincere when asking y'all this. I have a coworker who only came to work one day this week, and that was Wednesday. I didn't see him Monday, so I didn't think anything about it, but I did ask people where he was. Nobody knew where he was. And then I didn't see him Tuesday, so it kind of raised the eyebrow, like, okay, what's going on here? Nobody knew where he was. So Wednesday he appeared, and I talked to him, and he was like, well, you know, my wife has Parkinson's, and she has the flu right now, and this is her second bout of the flu during this winter. And it was really, really bad, and he had been taking her to the hospital, and he was not going to be able to come to work. And he just took on legal guardianship of his niece and nephew, both which are, of course, underage. So he has a lot going on right now, and he didn't come to work, like I said, Monday and Tuesday. He came Wednesday, and he didn't come Thursday and Friday, so he is really going through a lot, y'all. Anyway, y'all, please pray for him. Even though I don't want to put his name out there, I'm going to need for y'all to please pray for him and his family, because I don't know what's going on. I haven't heard anything, any updates or any of that. So anyway, please keep him in your prayers. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.